Hi, YouTube family. Welcome back to Recording Movies Recap. Today, I am going to explain an Indian psychological drama movie called Taare Zameen Par. Ishan is an 8-year-old imaginative kid, widely known as a troublemaker among his mates. He fails every subject and is the lowest-ranking student in his classroom. He is in his second year of 3rd grade, and by the looks of his report card, he will have to repeat the same grade again. In contrast to Ishan, his elder brother Johann is an ideal student. Outside studies, he plays tennis and is competing in the upcoming interstate tennis championship. Ishan frequently gets into fights with the neighborhood kids who bully him. One day, a kid's mother complains about Ishan's behavior to his father Nanda Kishore. He has to embarrassingly apologize to the kid and his mother. After they leave, he shoves Ishan to the floor to discipline him. Although Nanda Kishore loves his children, he is too harsh on Ishan. He believes that Ishan's low scores and inability to do basic tasks are because of his laziness. The next day at school, Ishan's English teacher asks him to read a line from the book. He tries his best but can hardly form a word. He has difficulty in understanding the letters, but the teachers mistake it for him being a brat. When she repeatedly urges him to read, he yells gibberish and is sent out of the class. It is not a new thing for Ishan to be punished. In fact, he spends most of his time outside rather than studying because the teachers think of him as a disturbance to the other students. That day, Ishan hadn't done his math homework. To avoid facing the math teacher, he runs away from school and spends the entire day wandering around the neighborhood. He enjoys the day to his fullest, buying ice cream, spending time by the sea, and analyzing the passers-by. By the end of the day, he returns to his school bus without anyone noticing his absence. At home, we see him make a beautiful painting. Ishan loves to paint and his imaginative mind helps the cause, resulting in over-the-top pieces. Later, his mother Maya tries to tutor him and make him do his homework. She notices that his handwriting is awful and he can hardly spell anything right. She associates his inability with laziness and scolds him like everyone else. The next day, Ishan will have to provide his teacher with an absent note from his parents. Scared of getting in trouble, he begs his brother to write the note for him. Johann makes him promise he will never skip school again and writes the note. The kid shows it to his teacher, who doesn't question its authenticity. He also pretends to cough to make it seem like he was actually sick. That day, the math teacher surprises the kids with a test. Ishan is handed the test paper, but to him, the letters look like they are dancing. The first question asks him the multiplication of 3 with 9. In his head, the kid imagines the 3rd planet Earth and the 9th planet Pluto fighting each other. He fantasizes about the Earth destroying Pluto and rationalizes that the answer is 3. Leaving the rest of the questions blank, he submits the test. When asked by his friends, he confidently claims that he enjoyed the test thoroughly. The next day, Nanda Kishore returns from a business trip. Ishan is overjoyed by his father's return and hugs him dearly. However, during breakfast, Nanda Kishore finds the fake absent note from the day before. On investigating, he finds out about Ishan running away from school and wandering alone in the streets. The very next day, the parents go to meet his teachers and the principal, who condemn his behavior in class. They also find out about the recent math test and its results. The principal assumes Ishan is a special child who needs to be sent to school for children with disabilities. Nanda Kishore is horrified at the thought of his son being disabled. Both parents are worried about their kid's future, so they decide to send him to a boarding school. Ishan is completely against the idea. He rebels and cries, begging them to keep him home, and although the parents do not want to be separated from him either, they do what they think will be the best for him. That night, Ishan dreams of losing his mother in a crowd and wakes up screaming. When she tries to calm him down, he promises to study harder if they let him be home. This breaks Maya's heart, but Nandakishore is adamant about his decision. The day finally comes when Ishan is taken to the boarding school in the countryside. He will have to share a dorm with other children and will only be allowed to meet his family once a month. It is a nightmare for the 8-year-old who has never been away from his home. The hostel warden welcomes him by declaring that his old ways won't be tolerated here. After touring the school, the family leaves with a heavy heart. Ishan just watches their car drive away with teary eyes. He stays like that for several minutes even after the car vanishes from his view. When it starts to get dark, he walks inside the hostel while still crying. He doesn't talk to anyone and hardly eats dinner. At night, when he cannot sleep, he goes to the bathroom and cries quietly, missing his mother. Meanwhile, Maya reaches home and goes through Ishan's belongings. To her dismay, she finds a flipbook of him being taken away from his family. The book breaks her heart as she realizes how much the kid dreads being away from them. In the hostel, Ishan struggles to do normal things like tying his tie and shoelaces. On his first day, the Hindi teacher Mr. Tiwari makes him sit on the first bench with the class topper, Rajan. The teachers soon realize that Ishan isn't normal. When the principal says it is not possible, Ram offers to teach Ishan every day after school. The principal allows it for the sake of the child. Starting the next day, Ram uses various innovative methods to help Ishan differentiate letters of the alphabet. They learn using sandboxes, Play-Doh, sensory methods, and so on. Ishan also takes help from audiobooks and stares to learn to calculate. In only 2 months, he begins to understand the letters that the other teachers couldn't teach him in several years. One day, Nandakishore comes to the school to talk to Ram and boast about how they are researching more about their son's condition. He wants Ram to know he is not an absent father and is proud to be the way he is. Ram, on the other hand, blames the father for being the reason the kid lost self-confidence, which even Nandakishore cannot deny. On his way out, he sees Ishan trying to read from the notice board. Regretful of unknowingly hurting his child, he tears up and cannot get himself to face him. A few days later, Ram organizes a painting competition for both teachers and the students of the school. Everyone gathers in the amphitheater and participates. Ishan uses the painting supplies that he was gifted by his brother for the first time. The competition starts and everyone gets busy drawing. Even the teachers enjoy the event and do their best. By the end of it, Ishan creates a beautiful painting of himself, sitting by the pond. He goes to the front to submit the painting and sees that Ram has painted a portrait of him. He is left speechless at the sight. A while later, it is announced that the winning painting will be on the front of the new edition of their yearbook. The principal proclaims that the decision was difficult because 2 paintings stood out the most, Ram's and Ishan's. In the end, Ishan is declared the winner while the second prize goes to Ram. The crowd erupts in cheers. For the first time in his life, Ishan feels recognized for his talent. He cannot help but cry and runs to his teacher to hug him. In the last scene, Maya and Nandakishore come to the school for the end-of-the-year parent-teacher meeting. The principal boasts about Ishan's talent, showing them his painting on the front of the school's yearbook. And used to the new attention, the parents are left shocked. The principal also praises Ram for doing a great job teaching the kid in the way he needed it. Later, the parents meet Ishan's teachers who show them the report card and compliment the kid's undeniable progress. Outside, the couple watches their son playing and cry tears of happiness. Nandakishore thanks Ram for helping Ishan and apologizes for his behavior. Lastly, Ishan bids farewell to Ram and goes back to his hometown for a vacation. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on the notification, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thanks for watching.